Good morning. So today we're going to talk about solving linear equations. Just remember, in order to solve a linear equation, you're trying to solve for the variable x or whatever the other variable is. Doesn't have to be x, could be n. They like to use n a lot, or any variable. But you're solving for that one variable, and the goal is to isolate that variable and get it by itself. We do that by using the inverse operation. So we can move things around each side of the equation by doing the inverse of whatever's being done. All right. So one thing to help us remember the steps is don't call me after midnight. So don't stands for distribute, call stands for combine like terms. Me means move variables to one side. After means add or subtract. And midnight is multiply or divide. So in this example here, you see that they distributed the 2 to the x and the -5 first, and that gave them the 2x minus 5, which is highlighted. Then combine the 2x and the x that are on the same side. So here and here, combining those to become 3x, which is highlighted. That's the combine like terms that are on the same side. You might want to note same side. And then we move variables to one side. So we have 3x and 5x. All right, they're on opposite sides. But in order to move them to the other side, we do inverse operation. So it looks like they decided to subtract 3x on both sides. And that gave us the 2x, which is highlighted here. Now we are going to add or subtract. So to get our constants together, so we subtract 6 on both sides. That's a 6. That gave us -16, which is highlighted. And then last step, multiply or divide, depends on whichever the inverse operation is. So right now, this is multiplication. So we divide by 2 to get the 2 away and onto the other side. And that leaves us with -8. So -8 is x. All right. So I'm going to do a couple examples with you guys. I'm going to start with this first one. -5x minus 1 equals -2x plus 14. So don't call me at the midnight. Distribute. We don't have to do that. Combine like terms on the same side. No, there's nothing we can do on each side to combine anything. All right. Now we want to move the variables. All right. I always say move the smaller one. So with negative numbers, the bigger that absolute value is of the number, the smaller it is. So -5 is actually smaller than -2. So we're going to add 5x to both sides. You don't have to add 5x. You can add 2x, but this just keeps you from having negative numbers. All right, so bring down -1. -2x plus 5x is 3x. Bring down 14. Okay, so now we're going to get our constants together. All right, so add or subtract depends on what's happening. So we're going to move. The goal is to get rid of everything around x. So it doesn't make sense to bring the -1 over here. We want to move everything to the other side right here. Okay, so let's subtract 14 on both sides. Okay, so that leaves us with -15. Both numbers are negative, so we're going to add them and keep the sign. Bring down 3x. All right, so now we either got to multiply or divide. But the inverse of multiplication is division, so we're going to divide by 3, and we get -5 equals x. Or I can flip it around. X equals -5. Okay. All right. So let's do another one. All right. 2x minus 5 equals 4x plus 11. We don't have to distribute anything. We don't have to combine anything on the same side. So let's go ahead and move our variables. Pick the smaller variable. That's 2x is smaller, so we're going to move that to the other side. Subtract 2x. Okay, so it cancels out here. Bring down -5. 4x minus 2x is 2x. Bring down the plus 11. Okay, now we're going to add or subtract to get our constants together. So 11 is being added right now, so inverse operation. Subtract 11 on both sides. This gives us -16, same size, add and keep. Okay, bring down 2x. Now we're going to divide because the inverse of multiplication is division. So x equals -8. And we can flip that around and say x equals -8. Okay. All right. I got another one for you. This one has the distributive property now. So let's try it out. Okay. Notice most of my stuff is on the left side. I only have this plus 23 over here. So it looks like after I simplify this side, everything's going to the right side here. Okay. So let's start by distributing 4 to the -2x and -4. When we distribute, we multiply. So that becomes a -8x and then a -16. I didn't save enough room. Hold on. Need some more space. -8x minus 16. Bring down the 5x and the plus 2. And then on the other side, -23. So let's go ahead and combine like terms on the same side. So we got -8x and 5x. Those are like terms. And then we also have -16 and 2. All right. So when we add -8x and 5x, we get -3x. And then when we add -16 and 2, we get -14. And then bring down -23. All right. And then I'm trying to get everything away from the x, okay, through inverse operation, because I got to move it to the other side. So the opposite of subtracting 14 would be adding it. So let's add 14 to both sides. All right. And then -23 plus 14 is 9. So that gives us a -9. Bring down -3x. All right. So now this is multiplication. So the inverse of that is division. Divide by -3. So x equals a +3. Because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Okay. I think I have one more for you guys. And this one kind of is a combination of everything. All right. So don't call me after midnight. Start with distributive property. All right. So 3 or -3 times 1 and -3 times -3x. So that gives us -3 and then positive 9x, because a negative times a negative is a positive. All right. Then bring down the 15 and the 2x. Okay. So now let's combine like terms on the same side. So I have 2x and 9x. When I combine those two, I get 11x. Bring down -3. On the other side, there's nothing I can combine. So let's just bring that down. All right. So now we want to move the variables. Okay. So don't call me. Me stands for move the variables. Move the smaller one. So subtract 2x on both sides. That goes away. So 11 minus 2x is 9x. Bring down -3. So now we're going to add or subtract our constants. And because 3 is negative, we're going to add it. Don't bring 15 over here, because that means we have nothing left on the left side over here. And we're trying to get everything away from x. All right. So that gives us 18 equals 9x. And I think you can kind of see what the answer is going to be. Divide by 9. And x equals 2. But we want to flip it. Okay. So there you go. Now you're going to practice. If you have any questions, let me know. All right.